and she couldn't honestly say that she favored one side or the other. Her mother had been raised in a well-to-do Southern family, so naturally her loyalties lay with the South. But Dianne's father had strong ties with the North, and being a businessman, he tended to do whatever best served his livelihood. She watched as her father fussed with several bolts of cloth before finally heading to the back room. He emerged through the curtain, pulling on his coat, grumbling all the way. "I don't know what good it is to have sons if they're never around to help with the business." He marched to the safe and pulled out the bag he always used for their money. Dianne pretended to sort a box of medicinal remedies while her father stormed about the room. She knew he was only looking out for her best interests, but she felt no reason to fear being on the street. There were more than enough Union soldiers keeping watch over the town. Surely they were trustworthy and honorable enough to keep one young woman from harm. "Are you sure you haven't seen the boys?" her father asked in an exasperated tone that told Dianne he was nearly ready to give in. She wiped her hands on her apron. "Let me go check for you." She made her way to the back door and opened it. Peeking out into the alley, she scanned the street for her brothers. Seeing that there wasn't a single soul stirring, she closed the door and returned to her father. "There's no sign of them." He sighed. "I hate to leave the store, especially with the state your mother's in." Dianne came to his side and gently touched his arm. "I can go to the bank, Papa. I'll be just fine. It's early, and most of the riffraff are sleeping off last night. There are soldiers patrolling, and they'll look out for me. Most of them are your friends. They aren't about to let anything happen to me." Ephraim sighed again and looked beyond Dianne to the door. "I suppose it would be all right just this once." Dianne hurried to the bank and conducted her business quickly. Mr. Danson seemed rather surprised she'd come alone, but said nothing. "Give your mother and father my best," he called as Dianne stepped to the door. "I will," she replied, tucking the money bag inside her skirt. She walked at a quick pace back to the store, but her mind was on the sorry state of the town around her. Windows were boarded in several businesses, reminding her of friends who had moved away. Mrs. Simpson's dress shop had been burned to the ground only 3 weeks earlier. Her father said it was renegade Confederate soldiers, but Dianne figured it to be local folks. Mrs. Simpson was a Yankee of the most outspoken kind. No doubt there were folks who'd had their fill of her opinions. As she passed a group of local men, a chorus of vulgar comments and whistles started up. "Hey, there's Ephraim Chadwick's daughter," one of them called. "Her pa owns the Emporium." "Yeah, he cozies up to those Yankees," another added. "But her ma's a real daughter of the South," a third man threw in. "She ain't no Yankee lover." "And she's real purty, just like her daughter." Dianne tried to ignore their comments, keeping her head bowed and walking as quickly as proper etiquette allowed. But not 10 feet from the store's front door, she found her process brought to an abrupt halt. "Why don't you sit a spell and share some company?" a gruff character demanded as he took hold of her arm. "You ain't no Yankee lover, are you?" Dianne looked up to meet the burly man's gaze. His expression was one of hatred. He smelled strongly of whiskey, sweat, and manure. Apparently not all of the riffraff were still sleeping off the night. "Excuse me," she said, trying to gently pull away. "My father is expecting me." Thunder rumbled in the distance as the storm moved ever closer. He tightened his hold and grinned, revealing